why did I do that? Only one man knows the answer to that. That's the birthday boy, my good friend of many, many years, Mr. Tim Rath from Detroit, Michigan. Who else is from Detroit? Well, he's not originally from Detroit, he's from Chicago. And that would be... I left the record over there. Mr. Denny Mclain, pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. Led to the World Series. But like I said, originally from Chicago. Played for the White Sox originally. Yeah, pitcher, had just about 1,300 strikeouts in his career. And like I said, this is his album. Denny Mclain at the organ. The mighty Hammond X77 organ. Sample in there somewhere. So yeah, grew up in a musical household. His father taught him to play the organ. And he was 24 years old when he made this album during his baseball career. In 1969 this came out. He also put out another record called Denny Mclain at Las Vegas. And yeah, this wasn't just him and some session musicians he'd never met before. This was a group he already had called the Denny Mclain Quartet. So yeah, they made a couple of records. They actually made it to the Ed Sullivan Show, where they played with Cardinals pitcher, Bob Gibson on guitar. The Cardinals and the Tigers, I believe, played each other in the World Series that year. I think it was '68. I'm not a sports guy. I'm not going to rattle off a bunch of statistics that you or I understand. The only real sports note I really care about is he gave, keyword is gave, Mickey Mantle his 535th home run hit. Literally a gift. Yeah, and then McLean got into gambling trouble and supposedly dealings with the mafia, including John Gotti Jr., did jail time over the years. It's a very long, sad story. I'm not going to get into all that. But yeah, musically, this album, some alright stuff. He's got some chops. It's pretty jazzy, pretty swingy. The opening part of this track here called For Me. Sample that, why don't you? And as you might expect, a lot of covers. For Me, Cherish is on the next side. I'll put that on. I'll put that on right now. I also play Burt Bacharach. By the time I get to Phoenix. What else? No, Jimmy Webb's by the time I get to Phoenix, sorry. I play This Guy's in Love With You by Burt Bacharach. The Look of Love we were already listening to, Hurdy Gurdy Man, and of course a song called Extra Innings, as written by Bob Schneider, but not the newer Bob Schneider that you're probably more familiar with. So, actually that's about it. It was produced by Dave Dexter Jr., who did a lot. He was a producer and like general bigwig at Capitol Records back in the 50s and 60s. So one of his jobs was to, like, he decided when British bands were getting big, he decided which ones to bring over to push in the States. And he initially turned down groups like the Beatles. Later, when it became obvious that the Beatles are going to be huge with or without his help, he decided to work with them. And he would even later remix their stuff, change the audio, like the left and right stuff, the space between the instruments, centering it, spacing it apart, stuff like that. And he produced this. So, yeah, happy birthday, Mr. Tim Rath. Haven't talked to you in a while. Hopefully I'll talk to you again soon. Otherwise, this has been Vinyl Divergencies. Till next time.